A very good morning to all. I, Prashant Payam, welcome all the participants for the uh, national webinar on quality concepts in education, today's weave, which is organized by Sanatana Research and Training Institute, a unit of Sanatana Sampratistana, Mysore, in association with Rotary Club of Mysore West. Prayer is the process of talking to God in order to achieve a purpose. Let us begin this national webinar by seeking the blessing of the Lord Almighty. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kurume Deva, Sarva Kareshu Sarvada. Now I request Dr. Ramachandra CG, the Managing Director of Sanatana Research and Training Institute, to welcome and introduce the speaker of today's national webinar. I also request him to welcome the guests as well as the participants. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning, one and all. So I take this opportunity on behalf of Sanatana Research and Training Institute, which is a unit of Sanatana Sampratistana, Mysuru, to welcome today's speaker, Dr. P. Sivasankaran, Associate Professor, Manakula Vinayagar Institute of Technology, Pondicherry, and guests from Rotary Club of Mysore West, and participants from different parts of the country. Let me begin with introducing today's speaker, that is Dr. P. Sivasankaran. He has obtained his BE degree in Mechanical Engineering from Pallavan College of Engineering, Kanchipuram, and he has obtained his ME in Industrial Engineering from Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai, and he has obtained his PhD in Industrial Engineering from Anna University in the year 2015. He is having a total 10 years of teaching experience in various cadres and currently is working as Associate Professor at Manakula Vinayagar Institute of Technology, Pondicherry. He has published total 35 plus papers in reputed international and national journals, and also presented many papers in international conferences. He has published books on quality management, process planning and cost estimation, managerial economics, and computer integrated manufacturing, automation for excellence, etc. He has organized 15 workshops and guest lectures on recent technological advances in the area of industrial engineering. He is a peer reviewer and editorial board member for various reputed international journals. He is a life member of Indian Institute of Industrial Engineering, Mumbai, IAENG USA, and Teaching and Education Research Association, Eurasia Research. He is proficient in software such as Design for Assembly, AutoCAD, Robodeck, DK, etc. He has guided various academic projects for UG and PG students. He is regularly applying for projects, seminar grant, FDPs, HTTPS under various schemes such as DST, CSIR, NSTM, and ASCT, etc. He has carried out a novelty research on the work titled Comparison of Jute and sisal fiber reinforced composites using crushed PCB with the support of C Intel Services Chennai, and he has actively participated in various FDFIs, national and international workshop, HTTPS at various institutions, and even he has delivered guest lectures at the institutional level, also at reputed industries, in the topics related to software applications and other industrial engineering areas. This is a brief introduction about today's speaker, and the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. So that's why never stop learning. When we stop learning, then we stop growing. Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking, and thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great. So that's why knowledge is divine. Knowledge is powerful, and it should be shared. And coming to today's topic, education is the process of facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skill, values, morals, beliefs, and habits. Educational methods include teaching, training, and storytelling, discussion, and directed research. So the basic six elements influence the quality of education: the teacher and the teaching methods. Second one, educational content, what we deliver. The third one, learning environment, where we deliver, the place. And fourth one, school management, who manages the entire system. And fifth one, preconditions of pupils, that is the prerequisite or the precondition of the students, if you consider. And the sixth one, funding and organization. So these are the six basic elements which influence the quality of education as such. So today is the national webinar on quality concepts in education. That is what is the quality, the concepts which influence the education system. And today's perspective, if you look at this education, how in terms of quality we can see, this is what our today's speaker is going to enlighten us. So with this, I wish all the participants will have fruitful interaction with the speaker. Once again, I thank you one and all. So over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Now I will ask Dr. P. Sivasankaran, Associate Professor, Manakula Vinayagar Institute of Technology, Pondicherry, to start his session on quality concepts in education. Today's weave. Over to you, sir.
So very good morning to one and all present here. So let me introduce about myself. I am Dr. P. Sivasankaran, currently serving as Associate Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering from Manakula Vinayagar Institute of Technology, Pondicherry. So in today's webinar, I'm going to share my overall view about the total quality management system. So how we can able to follow the basic principles of TQM in engineering education institutions. So what is the today's view about the quality concepts in engineering educational institution, especially higher learning educational institutions. So this is our agenda for the presentation. So first, let us start with the preface, importance of quality concepts, then introduction about the total quality management system, then what are the primary goals of quality concepts in education, then factors of quality education, then focus of quality education, then present quality concepts in engineering system, then last we will have a case study discussion. After that, we will conclude the entire the presentation about the program. So we will try to have a sequence similar to the plan of agenda. So first thing, we will have an overview. So the engineering education plays an important role for long decades, but now in the recent past, so the emerging growth of many educational institutions in Tamil Nadu, so that has become a big pressure challenge for the leaders, for the educational leaders who runs the institution to offer the better quality of education to the students. It has become a big tremendous pressure for them to sustain in the competitive market. So main issues going in the engineering education is currently on the placement opportunities for the students that are not properly guided well in a better manner. So there is no much the supportive infrastructure training not provided in many of the AICTE approved institutions. So that is the main drawbacks in Tamil Nadu. Then due to that, finally, the student dislikes to prefer the core courses. This is the current practice going on. So normally mechanical, civil, automobile, these are the core evergreen branches. So due to the limited student think that these branches will have only limited narrow job opportunities. So the students are not properly motivated, encouraged by the parents. At the same time, the reference groups from the outside. Okay, so this makes the student to dislike the core branches. Instead of that, they are forced to take the software related courses like CSE, information technology, data science, and so on. So the present education system, first of all, so they have to focus on improving the advanced teaching aids for both faculties and students. Okay, so the communication skill that has become a big problem from the engineering education institute, the students who are passing out from the high level, the premier engineering education institute. So the college organization, so they have to give a equivalent weightage for improving the soft skills of the students. At the same time, they should have a right caliber teacher, high intelligent teacher for the correct job. So these two should be properly matched. So, but in the current scenario, this has not happened in middle level, low level colleges. Only if we can see the premier colleges, we can able to see the highly intellectual caliber faculties and the students. So they are getting a good right amount of placements. But what about the lower level, the running institutions? So they don't have that much the facilities. First, they have to improve the internal facility. Then they can able to recruit the good quality of faculty members in order to train or nurture the students' the potential. Right. So this is the present situation going on. So now let us move to the introduction. So the main success of a nation that depends upon the three major things. One is the capability of the individual. Next one is competency, the core competency skills. Then efficiency, overall efficiency of the human resources. So these are the most important thing we have to consider. Okay. So no country can think of its viability without the human skills. So in the recent time, the economists have added a statement that the human resource plays a major, the key role in developing the nation. So particularly in manufacturing industries, still there is a huge demand for skilled human labor. But the thing is, the people who are coming out from the educational institution are not much highly skilled. They are said to be underskilled or semi-skilled people. So due to that, the jobs are not given. So I can say here, opportunities are there. The people are not able to use the opportunities in a better environment. So in present national and international context, higher education in general and also technical education in specific is heavily leaned towards the capability to enrich the students with the knowledge and skills in obtaining the lucrative job. But unfortunately, the technical education, more particularly, say, engineering education system, is being driven towards the commercial competition imposed by economic forces. And at the same time, there is no lack of the clear-cut government policy. So unavailability of the quality teachers in the academic world, non-availability of quality teachers in the academic world, and the commitment, lack of poor commitment in creating high standard, knowledgeable professionals. These problems are highly frustrating in nature. As a result, during these turbulent periods, all institutions which are imparting engineering education are forced to revamp their strategies to cope up with the change. So it is highly mandatory to follow the basic principles of TQM for all engineering education system in a more rigorous manner. So we should not compromise with adjustment, little adjustment. So the TQM says that the workforce, including the students, are responsible for the good or bad thing. Okay, so here, as per the ideology of TQM, so all people, they have to work in integrated, the collaborative manner. So the goal of quality education, the main thing, aim for innovation. So follow the best classroom practice in order to stimulate the mindset of the student. So conducting video lecture, playing a video lecture about a particular technical process, and accepting the students to involve in a peer group discussion. So that add more interest to the students. Instead of giving the instruction on one-way mode, we can also make the students to give some suggestion ideas by seeing through some kind of technical video lectures. So that is a way in which we can able to stimulate the innovation of the student by carrying out a project-based learning approach when they are moving to the pre-final year or the final year. And also industry-based learning. So having connectivity with leading industries, arranging for IPT industry visits. Okay, so we can also call the industry experts to the academic institution by organizing workshops or any project-based competitions. So this is the way in which we can able to impart the quality education in the engineering institutions. Then research-based learning. So seeking funds from various government agencies like DST, CSIR, we can also motivate the young student who are interested to do research. So we can also keep them as a team member along with the senior faculty for doing a joint, the collaborative research projects. Then aiming for protecting the innovation by applying for patent rights. Then at last aim for quality placement opportunities. So these are the primary objective of providing a quality education in any institution. What are the factors of quality education in engineering? So these are the factors we are going to see one after the other. First thing, infrastructure of the college. So any student or a parent, so first thing, they will prefer the overall, the external, the environment of the college. Okay. Then next, classroom facility. Okay. Then lab facilities. Okay. Then research labs. So these are the main primary thing, the expectation from the outsider. That is the customer. Parents is also considered to be a customer, external customer. Okay, right? So the institution has to make the strength facilities as per the expectation of the external customer. Okay. The next thing, quality of human culture. So when you say TQM, total quality management, so we must follow a right human culture. So in that way, the recruitment process should be highly careful while taking a faculty for the job. So we have to consider the as per the main important key elements of TQM. So human people skills. So the faculty should have the human interaction, people skills, and well-knowledge ability, then communication skills, then research potential. So these are the various key elements, and moreover, humanity, caring, taking care about the students in the difficult time. Okay, so if you want to maintain this kind of the human culture in the organization, then we have to severely follow the different the TQM practices every day. Okay, as a result, that will boost up the employee morality, and also the students may become more well-educated, disciplined when they're coming out from that specific organization. And also brand image is more important for an organization. So how we can able to improve the brand image through following the ethical discipline inside the college between students and faculty members. So value-based learning. Okay, so these are the main dimensions that are included in the value-based learning. Okay, so student innovation. Then we have to set the goals for doing each and every task objective. Okay, then improving the leadership potential of the students. Then trustworthiness between faculty and students. Then following ethics, then working as a team, integrity. So these are some of the core values. So we have to follow it in value-based learning. Okay, right? So instead of following a task-oriented, highly pressurized environment, so we can follow such kind of the value-based learning system. So the students and faculty, they can able to find a better platform to improve themselves. Okay, apart from result-oriented education system. Then attitude towards the faculty and students. So proper understanding should be there between the class students and the subject handling teacher. Okay, so how we can able to bridge the attitude between the faculty and students. So the student, if anything, the problem faced by the student, the faculty should have the ready mindset to attend the problem. So he should not postpone the time. If any students from the particular year department having some grievances, that should be sorted out. Okay, so that is the right culture, kind of bonding maintained between the faculty and the students. Then fifth one, the curriculum of the college. So the syllabus, the framing of syllabus should be based on the industry pattern with respect to the placement, the point of view. At the same time, the technological, leading technological aids, right? So in that way, the university have to frame the curriculum, the course curriculum, the structure. Then next thing, placement as aspects. So even though the students may be highly strong in technical and other the project-based learning, but coming to the job placement, so the soft skills, interpersonal skills, these two are the main important thing to be focused strong. So we should have a human interaction skills. At the same time, the ability to communicate a certain idea or information to your fellow colleagues in an organization. So how we have to communicate each other. So this kind of training, the soft skill can be given from the placement team, the point of view. Then forming various technical professional association groups and non-technical professional societies like non-professional societies like cultural club. So these are mandatory for any higher learning educational institution. Okay, so through the professional association, we can have a lot of guest lectures and workshops to enrich the knowledge of the students. And for using the cultural club, so we can able to prove the hidden talent of the students. So the present, now coming to the present state of engineering education in India. So due to the phenomenal growth of several institutes, that this has become a big steep decrease in the quality of education. According to the NASSCOM, the statistics says that only 15 to 20% of the graduates are employable. So what are the reasons for the poor outcome? So the following are some of the reasons as listed here. First thing, wastage present in the existing system. So for bringing out a high competent professional, so one has to understand the efficiency, first of all, okay. So based on which we can able to prepare the framework in order to make the system to be more workable. So considerable facilities have been created in the institution over the last couple of decades, but the evaluation is not more uniform. And the industry requirements taking into consideration based on the industry requirement, there is a large wastage in the outcome. So as I told you, semi-skilled, the technical knowledge students, then poor communication ability. These are some of the things that are not meet out properly as per the industry requirements. The next thing, regional imbalance. So in certain region, if you take a village site, so a less number of the colleges are there. So even in the case of city, rural area, so more number of educational institutions. But even though more increasing expansion of professional education, what is the quality they are providing? That is a big question mark. So next one, branch-wise imbalance. So these courses are said to be highly evergreen courses in those days, but now for the past few years, 3 to 4 years, the recent past, the people are not ready to take these the core courses. So they're going for a narrow domain like CSE, computer science and engineering, machine learning, data science. So I'm not blaming, but the student should be rightly in a right way. They have to motivate it. Okay, right? So the equal balance should be given for both software and the core related branches. The main thing is we should have a good teacher, the qualified teacher. That is a big problem in the present scenario. Then the faculty shortage in technical institution. So these are the challenges that are arising nowadays. So lack of focus on quality and non-availability of outstanding faculty. So by resolving these issues, so our country can surely emerge as a global knowledge brand. So the faculty constituents the main critical success factor, the academic excellence. So nowadays the people are not ready enough to put more money into recruit a good, highly qualified, research-oriented faculty. Even young students who are not able to ready to take up the research jobs. So these are some of the problems that are going in the present education system. The following are the problems seen from the management point of view. So from the top level point of view, absence of forward planning. So the pressure made on the college administration that has been increasing day by day due to the rapid extension of the growth in colleges. But there has been a sizable increase in the volume of work. So as a result, so the leaders, the top level leaders, they could not able to propose a specific, clear-cut vision in order to position their educational institution to the positive outcome. The next thing, clarity, lack of clarity in duties and responsibilities. So there again, this is a main confusion. So we have to focus on the basic duties and responsibility assigned to different role in the hierarchy. So there is no clarity in different categories of faculty member. So as a result, people used to duplicate the work. So this is a kind of thing going in many middle level, under level educational institutions. The lack of improper delegation and decentralization of authority. So normally in the current education system, the rules are made in paper, but it is not effectively functioned in real practice. That is the main problem. So due to lack of clear vision from the top level and the poor delegation of authority. So faulty staffing procedures. So the function of human resource management system and educational institution. So they have to find a right caliber employee by training them, by orienting the human resource in a proper way. So the engineering college should be staffed with highly qualified people, not only qualification, a well-knowledged person, who has a thinking ability, who has the ability to groom the students with the correct vision, proper direction. So the major weakness of the present day engineering colleges are suffering with the shortage of faculty members at various levels. So that lead to unsatisfactory methods of recruitment, inadequate provision in service education, so inefficient leadership quality. So unfortunately, the heads of institutions are unable to lead the people more effectively towards orienting towards the common goal. So that leads to lack of knowledge or skills. So a leader is expected to identify the problem faced by the followers, and they have to solve them more effectively by providing the best satisfactory outcome to the followers. It is found that the leaders of engineering institutions are choosing autocratic kind of leadership style rather than going for a democratic or participative model. So from the above discussion, it is observed that the engineering institution need a lot of drastic reforms. The traditional and rigid structures fail to respond to the problem of present day needs of the society. The time has changed and the specialization has become the order of the day. So it is therefore become an imperative to have a quality management orientation in every institution. Following TQM methodology, so we can able to specialize each and every students according to the areas of interest. So what is the need of the total quality management? So it is a set of systematic the management procedure or a guideline that has to be followed by the entire organization in a more effective manner in order to achieve the company's objective, right? With appropriate time and price. Now let us see what are the suggestions that are required to strengthen the education system in India. So need for application of TQM principles at all levels in engineering education. Right? So in the recent years, the TQM, this philosophy has emerged as a most important alternative to achieve the goal. Right? So the TQM requires adaptation and fine-tuning to the Indian situation in order to make the technique more optimal. So first thing, we need to train the employees. Resistance to change, that is the common thing present in our people. So we want to align all the students and also the faculty members to equip the TQM guidelines. So adapting IQAC, internal quality assurance cell, in order to monitor the academic activities every semester. Okay, that is left with the responsibility of the senior faculty member. He may be a department head or head of the institution, the college principal. So they have to monitor the quality of academic activities they are following in every semester. So they have to educate both students and faculty members to adapt themselves to the IQAC culture. Then this is a proposed TQM model for an engineering education system. So how various the domain people are closely interrelated with each other. First thing, the commitment from the management, the board of member, principal and senior faculty member of the institution. So they have to see the trial for them. So they have to understand first what is exactly the TQM methodology. Then after getting well versed in the TQM concept, then they have to make the employee to involve, other employee to involve in the decision making skills. Then use of techniques for monitoring and controlling. Let us say PDCA, plan to check act. Then quality function deployment. These are some of the tools that can be applied in the education system so that we can able to find out what is the gap between the external customer and the internal customer. Okay, what the parents are exactly expecting and how we can able to fulfill the expectations. Okay, so like that we can able to improve the quality strategy from the top level to the bottom line level system. Right? So TQM can be applied in different areas like measuring the student satisfaction, conducting QC meetings groups in every semester, then society satisfaction by making an alumni setup, so we can able to interact with the passed out students, how they are feeling about the education, the quality of education in outside. We can also try to set up the brand image still further in future. Then industry satisfaction. Okay, so these are the areas where we can strictly follow the TQM concepts for having a quality-based education, outcome-based education system. The main emphasis of TQM is so based on which, so the input and the output model has been constructed. So the input for the TQM element, so students and faculty members, then the technical lab assistants, the capital investment to start an educational setup, then talent, that is human skills, then material provision, then space required to conduct an educational institution, and demand from the external society. So considering these inputs, valuable inputs, so we need to produce an output with ensuring the right quality of education system in various areas, teaching, learning process, the staff appraisal system, extracurricular activities. Okay, reforming the management policies, goals and objectives. Okay, then entrepreneurship aspects. Okay, based on which we can able to expect these outputs at the end of the day. So next we will see a case study of TQM and engineering education. So since higher education system is facing a lot of the challenges over a period of time, they're expected to face more in future. So in the new environment, the higher education has entered a quality that plays a major role and of increasing importance nowadays. So in the past decade, so more stress is made on the quality improvement. So that has become the characteristic feature of higher education in many countries. So by now, TQM has been adopted by many universities and colleges in the higher education world. So engineering college and universities have no alternative. So they have to follow and take beneficiary advantage that TQM offers. So what are the levels of TQM in education system? So the first level, so we can able to administer, control the management process of an educational organization with benefits in improving the efficiency. Then second level, teaching the TQM concepts is philosophy and the tools and techniques to the students' point of view. Then third level, the total quality, we can able to implement the total quality daily learning process. So these are the way in which we can implement the TQM best practices in within the working atmosphere. So the primary focus of TQM principles, it is mainly a focus on the customer expectation, then total employee involvement, then the process that has to be entered with the due consideration of outcome. So we should not do the process for namesake. So whatever the academic activities that are executed, so it should be an outcome oriented. Then following a total integrated system, then improving the strategy, doing the work in a more systematic approach, then that makes the continuous improvement, and finally it improves the overall communication of the entire academic system. So TQM model for education. So these are the key elements for the TQM for engineering education. The first thing, commitment and leadership from the top level management, proper decision making, that is planning and organizing the set of activities, then well versed with the quality management tools and technique. We can also train, educate the people how that can be adapted. Not only this SQC, the benchmarking and all, industry peoples are highly well versed. So these industry tools, how we can able to implement in the education point of view to track the quality of both students and the faculty members. Then involving both the team, students and faculty team, to work in the TQM approach. Then getting feedback, timely feedback from every now and then to improve the progress in the work. So here I have shown one simple example. So PDCA tool, it is one of the TQM philosophy. So how we can able to ensure the quality of education in an engineering institute. So first thing, so the TQM philosophy should be properly understood by the top level leaders, and they have to delegate about the importance of the TQM philosophy to every department within the organization setup. And the next thing, this is the core process. So planning phase. So in the planning phase, so getting to know about the TQM concept, developing strong vision, mission statement. Then next phase is 2, that is executing. So education and training, customer focus, okay, development of innovative projects, then evaluation, checking. So evaluating and follow up the outcome. Whether if the outcome is satisfied, then we can able to maintain the same outcome next level. The last one is act. So maintaining the continuous improvement and with a lot of changes, okay, giving a reward system for doing remarkable achievements. So with this, we can able to improve the quality of education by giving importance to all human elements within the TQM work culture. So the final conclusion of today's webinar. So the growth of engineering education is purely based on the interest of the human employee. So you should, the top management people should create an interest for the students and also for the faculty members. So they should value the feelings of both students and faculty members. So a good teacher should be able to inspire the students involving in project-based learning, and they should be able to make the students to transform into more responsible citizens. So this is my final, the closing remark of today's webinar. So with this, I thank the program organizer for giving me the opportunity to share my overall view about the quality concepts in education system, about today's view. So thank you one and all. And also I thank the participants for coming here. So any queries you can ask.
Sir, for your wonderful and enlightening session. The participants can interact with the speaker by unmuting themselves, or you can put the questions in the chat. Directly, so you can interact.
Good morning, Professor. I am Raghavendra Deshpande.
Yes,
Thank you very much for this wonderful session, sir.
Yes,
Actually,
thank
all
you.
your observations are quite right, sir, because I come from the industry, and we actually try to interview a lot of candidates from different colleges, and as you have probably observed, the employable or employability of these candidates are is very much I would say, it's not up to the mark. Probably there are many reasons, for this kind of a situation right now, because most of the focus, in our society has been on the computer science and software engineering areas, which is quite incorrect, as you rightly pointed out, because we also have to focus on the core areas, the core subjects like mechanical engineering and electrical engineering and so on. But unfortunately, most of the students are gravitating towards the software industry, whether they have the aptitude for it or not. And unfortunately, students also don't seem to understand that uh, the hopes of getting a good job is not as easy as it used to be earlier, in the late 90s or early 2000s. Because nowadays it's quite difficult. One has to specialize quite a lot before getting a good job. What are your views, sir? How do we address this situation in the short term?
So actually, the parents, they should have a right kind of reference group. So the parents are wrongly motivated by some other the intermediaries. So due to the wrong focus, the people are getting landed with the software branch. I'm not saying that IT field is worst. They also had a equivalent the potential, but the thing is, the students should come on their own interest to choose a branch.
Correct.
So some people are forced to choose computer science, machine learning, data sciences. First, they should be able to test their ability during the admission process itself. No, they have to conduct a screening test. So now this is totally absent in South India.
Yes.
When I'm doing my engineering education in 2004, the first year, we used to write Tamil Nadu Common Entrance Test.
Yep.
And also interview will be there, we will be conducted. So based on that, the students' interest will be measured properly. But now a fast, rapid admission process is carried out.
Yes.
Okay, so the people are not having time to think. So they're just paying the money and they're spoiling their future by getting into the wrong track. So if they really have the potential to learn the software courses, no problem. They can come on their own interest. Some people might be interested in doing aeronautical, mechanical engineering. So we should not force them to undergo the software related courses. So in many family members are doing like that. So as a result, the students dislike their entire career through the 4 years. So a lot of negative motivation things are going.
Yes.
So proper direction should be given for the parent.
Yeah.
So that is my vision. So a right reference group should be there for guiding the parents. So for the sake of money, some groups are just wrongly motivating the society, outside society. So that is my main thing I want to stress upon. So they have to think twice or thrice before admitting their ward in a particular course. So they have to ask their children, are they really interested or not?
But the children are also, pressured by the peer group. They are, they look at all their friends who are into computer science. They are getting good jobs with good salaries and things like that. And they become, they have that complex, that we are not earning as much as they do, although we are good in our own subjects and things like that. So maybe society as a whole, we are not doing something very right. Unlike Europe or America, where equal stress is given to all the disciplines. And there are many good colleges with with students getting into all core courses, even computer science, and everybody, they do very well in the industry. And how many products, how many inventions come out of those countries? While we in India, we produce lakhs and lakhs of engineers, but we have very few product companies. We have very few inventions that come out of India, though we have a very, very large pool of engineers. Unfortunately, as a society as a whole, we must probably think in the right direction. Your point is very, very valid, sir, for the parents, of course, but parents alone probably may not be able to influence much.
Even in IT courses also, they should have a right facilities, machine learning lab, then data science lab in many of the institution, new emerging institution. So they are just in advertisement, they are showing BTech, data science, machine learning, but there is no facility, means students will definitely not get job in IT sector also.
You're right.
So people are thinking that by strengthening the communication skills, they will get placed in IT job. It's not like that. So English is just a language, more than coding skill, programming skills, that is also needed for the IT people. So a wrong mindset has been created from the parents' point of view. So they should be addressed very well.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir.
My name is Arun, sir, from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Very good, sir. Your presentation is very informative. And parents also making some mistakes, sir. They are not giving liberalization to the children. They are comparing with the neighboring family. If someone choose another branch, you also choose the same thing. They are not giving liberalization to the students. So they are insisting to choose. The parents are involving. They are insisting on the students. You study this one, this particular branch only. They are doing that one. So students also they are unable to avoid the parents' word. So they are following that one also. So that is also
nowadays,
one of the.
In IT sector also, they are going to bring RPA, robotic process automation. So many people are going to lose the job in IT sector. So people have to equip themselves in knowing RPA. So instead of forcing them, they have to upgrade the skills.
Yes, sir.
The recent article I studied, in America, nearly 70 million people have lost their jobs due to the modernization in automation. So machine itself will create coding. There is no requirement of human people, programmer.
Yes, sir. And one more thing also here, they're giving much importance only for the admissions, not for the quality of education. That is also one of the.
So thing has to change. Gradually, it has to change. Sir. We cannot expect sudden change. Gradually, it has to change.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning, madam.
Sir, as my concern is, as you said, like we need to go with our students for testing where their interest lies, right? So it is also like the institute where we go. If they are into engineering and that field, they more focus our child to in that field, and they are not actually concerning about where child is interested in. Whichever field they are providing for admission, they are promoting, they are saying goody words about that only, and they are not actually focusing or concerned about the intelligence of students. So how to trust on such organization or institute like they are truly guiding my child very properly?
So I can give one small, simple example. Have you heard about Vellore Institute of Technology in South Tamil Nadu, VIT? It is one of the best example. So they give a lot of freedom for choosing the branches. They are following fully flexible credit system. So the students are those students who are coming out from that particular deemed university, they are shining with good academic knowledge. Even they have started in Andhra Pradesh, in Bhopal, in 2 different places. So only the institute like VIT, so they value the human feelings, not other colleges, as you said. Since I really experienced by working in that institute for 1 year, when I'm passing out my MA Industrial Engineering in 2010, I had a chance to work for a period of 1 year in that Vellore Institute of Technology. So students are well groomed. They have their own ability to select the teachers' subjects, no pressure, nothing else. So they follow like the foreign culture, fully flexible credit system. So the change should come from the management. They have to bring the change.
Actually, sir.
Hello.
Thank you, sir, for this guidance.
Yes, yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, yes, pardon. Yes, sir.
Sir, do we know the future of mechanical engineering? As we know that many of the students are going to the other courses like computer science and
Slowly
IT sector.
slowly it will boom up. No doubt, sir. Mechanical engineering is a evergreen branch. I too belong to the same field. Now the situation is different. So people are not interested to select this branch, mechanical, even electrical engineering. But even after few
Yes,
years, so change will come. Another cycle will come. When there is a less demand in the software, so automatically the core branches will have a lot of opportunities. So mechanical is said to be an evergreen branch. No need to worry about the future of the mechanical engineering
so
students.
my question is that, sir, what we need to do in this next 4-5 years so that mechanical can cover up the knowledge of other courses also, other branches. So what we need to do as a faculty?
So as a faculty, as a mechanical engineering faculty, you have to do additional skilled certificate courses like 3D printing, okay? So then virtual reality, okay? So for product design,
Okay.
development, simulation, application. So these are required, okay? Then
AI, ML, also,
yeah, exactly.
robotic.
Even that is common for mechanical also. At least you can learn some basics.
No, actually, Industry 4.0 is a booming topic now, and under the
Under
umbrella of
Industry 4.0 only all these things are coming.
oh,
Virtual reality, then robotic process automation, okay?
yeah.
Then 3D
Mm,
printing, so
okay.
digital twins, all these kind of technology coming under the platform of Industry 4.0.
No, as we are having very means nowadays we find that very mechanical is having a very less students, and that's why the future of mechanical engineering is a concern. So that's why
So
I asked this question.
my vision is we can bring some change in the curriculum aspects of mechanical engineering, whatever the technical tools which I told you, just few minutes back. So we
Yes,
can add as a specialist subject, elective subjects. Okay,
yes,
so we can also train the faculties first. Then slowly you can able to see the changes. The old curriculum has become outdated. So the syllabus which I am following, it is a 2013 old regulation syllabus, Pondicherry University syllabus. So that has become outdated and no further revision not taken place. We are recommending the university to add a new syllabus. Already we proposed new syllabus by considering all the latest techniques implemented in the mechanical engineering. Whatever I mentioned, AL and ML as an elective paper, so that the students can have an opportunity to know insight about those things. If they are interested, they can step on to other areas, not only mechanical engineering.
okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Any other questions from the participants? If we don't have any questions, we'll proceed. I request Dr. Ramchandra Seji, the Managing Director of Sanatana Research and Training Institute, to summarize today's webinar. Over to you, sir.
First of all, let me thank Dr. Sivasankaran for many events he has joined with us, and he is giving the inside knowledge pertaining to today's topic. Also, he has given inside the knowledge. So definitely, it will go in, it is useful for all the participants. And this is the topic that everyone should consider. The government, ACTE, UGC, these people have to consider this, the quality education. Okay, then everything, whatever we discuss, he has discussed at the end with questionnaire also, we can able to bring it down, those issues also. And the main things he has highlighted in his the presentation, the goal of quality education, why we require a quality. Nowadays we are lack of quality in our education. Okay, because it might be based on our curriculum, whatever we give, that's what he has discussed even at the end also. So the main goal of quality education, as he has stressed on those aspects, and he has pointed out many important influencing factors of quality education, especially in engineering domain, higher the professional education he has taken into consideration. So the first and foremost thing he has discussed, infrastructure of the college. So it is also one of the influencing factor. But nowadays the infrastructure they will show, most of the colleges and their in website, in brochures, everything. But when you go there, you won't get those facilities. It might be infrastructure facilities, might be your the infrastructure of the college, or lab facilities, or the including your library facilities, and all plays an important role here. And even he has given one more influencing factor, quality of human culture, how the entire the system or the methodology they use to bring out this quality in education, all this thing. The third influencer factor is again value-based learning. So value-based learning, we have to go back to our Gurukula, the system, so where values are added while learning. So nowadays the students, whatever it is required from the point of the internals or test or examination, they will study that, only that particular part. The proper foundation, the basics they won't learn. That means value-based learning is very, very essential. See, it gives a lot of things here, many important aspects he has highlighted under this topic, the innovation. That's what the hackathon and startup programs. So they have to involve themselves because they have a lot of potentials, the creativity, everything. So a lot of innovations they can have, and the leadership, lot of skills also they have to learn. Not only the percentage, whatever the marks they score at the end of their the education. So a lot of additional skill the industry is okay. They'll look for a lot of additional skills or value added skills apart from your the marks or the percentage. So the even value added based learning is also very, very important. He has stressed out, and attitude between the faculty and students also plays an important role. The relationship between the faculty and student, how we'll able to control the students, and taking them into confidence level while teaching or while giving the ideas and all. That is also very, very important. And curriculum of the college here actually we lacks actually, because each and every the affiliated colleges they follow some curriculum, and autonomous institutions they follow some curriculum, deemed universities they follow some curriculums, and private universities they follow some curriculum, and NITs, IITs, IISs they follow some curriculum. And so there should be a uniform curriculum system, so the AICTE and UGC people they can think of it, so that so everyone should study the same curriculum. So that means a balancing of the curriculum should be done in the college level. This is one of the major the influencing factor. And placement aspects, nowadays even for getting admission, everyone will think of what is the placement the activity from that institutions and all. So placement in the sense, as you rightly said, the companies will come to the university or colleges where the eligibility of the students are coming down actually. So some companies may ask the 70%, 75% overall, something like that. So eligible students are the less in most of the colleges, and the parents are they think that everyone, those who get the admission, they should get the placement. So like that, so placement aspects also one of the important factor. And the value added, the informations and all, every college or department wise, they can create some associations, student chapters, like Institute of Engineers or IST and all. So where the experts can be called from the industry or those associations or any reputed institutions and all. So where the latest technological informations can be delivered to the students. So that also one of the factor we can say. And he has also given insight information about the present situation of engineering education pertaining to in India. So a lot of the changes, it has to the overnight, it cannot happen. So gradually these changes has to occur. So many points he has highlighted, and under this category, the wastage in the systems. So wherever it is required, they are not providing those facilities, and all. Wherever it is not required, they are giving those facilities and all. And even regional imbalance in the location of engineering institutions, either AICTE or state government or UGC, they have to think about that. For a particular city, how many colleges it is required. Okay, for a particular state, so many colleges are required. So uniformly, they have to, like every state we have an IIT, every state we have an NIT. So like that, even other engineering colleges are the affiliated colleges are deemed university or private universities. So they have to distribute uniformly among the geographical area, so that this imbalance we can the match, I think. And even branch wise imbalance, it is nowadays, it is a hot, every institution is finding it. The core branches, especially mechanical, civil and electrical, so most of the institutions, they are not getting admissions. So because everyone wanted the software job or the information science or computer science engineering. And even the AICTE or UGC, they have to give some restrictions to these courses. Okay, so in some of the universities, as I've seen in Bangalore, 90% of the courses are from ITV only. Only on 10% the courses, they'll be from the core branches. So definitely it will take some time. So but it is affecting most of the faculty as well as the institutions. And the faculty shortage in technical institutions also, you spoke about it. That means they are not maintaining the ratio for a particular branch, how many professors, the qualified, the professors, associate professors with experience, and assistant professors, which are required for the entire course. So that is also, they are not maintaining all these things. And even he has spoken with what are the management point of view, a lot of changes that has to be done, like absence of forward planning. They won't plan. Okay, simply with the AICTE or affiliated university, if they are giving more intake, means they will take right away. And once the today's scenario comes into like mechanical, few colleges, they have taken 120, 180, 240. So now the doubt has started. Now they are keep on reducing the without forecasting it, keep on reducing the intake also, as well as the downsizing the faculty also. And including ineffective leadership, and who are the decision makers and all. These are all some of the common mistakes from the management point of view. He has clearly pointed out, and he has taken on case study also. So what is the need of TQM in education system, and as well as a lot of suggestions. Okay, he has given to strengthen the engineering education in India. What are the different levels of TQM which are required, and has proposed in TQM model also for the engineering education system to uplift the present the scenario or situation. And even what are the various levels of TQM that can be implemented or adopted in engineering education, he has given. And basic the TQM principles that can be adopted is given for a long run, not for the short based the one. and even TKM model for education he has proposed with his case study. So that's why nowadays even central government is also planning to give value-based education apart from their curriculum from the school level itself. So next academic year it may gets implemented, I think, like coding, Python, and other value-added the things the students has to learn from the school level itself. So he has made an attempt to give the inside information about the present the scenario about the education system, how the quality of the education system can be uplifted for the better future he has highlighted. So everyone, so we are facing a lot of issues with this, and we hope so in a couple of years, maybe it may take 2 or 3 years, because always the evergreen branches like core branches, always it will be there. Where the recently because of the influence, lot of discussions are also made at the end of the session. The parents they force to their kids to take this particular, because their the family members or colleague, okay, whoever have taken that particular course, so they force them to take that particular course only. So everywhere, not only from the government side, either from the individual student point of view, parent point of view, and the education institution point of view, and the government point of view, everywhere changes has to take place. So then only we can we can see a future quality in the education system. So with this, so once again, I'll thank the speaker as well as all the participants today, those who have participated. I hope everyone got the information. So for that purpose, which we have organized today, I hope it is fulfilled. Thank you, one and all. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the essence of humanity. I thank Dr. P. Sivasankaran, Associate Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Manakula Vinayagar Institute of Technology, Pondicherry, for accepting our request to be the resource person of today's national webinar, and also for delivering a very informative and wonderful session. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Dr. Ramchandra CG, the Managing Director of Sanatana Research and Training Institute, Dr. Raghavendra Prasad, MD, and Mr. Dinesh Kumar, DK, from Rotary Club of Mysore West, Shri Lokesh CG, Dr. Shantaraj Aras, and Srimati Bhagya Gopal from Sanatana Sampratistana for their involvement and support extended in organizing this webinar. Finally, I thank all the participants for your active involvement and support. We accept the same in the future events also. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day.
Sir, will you give the PPT?